week on 1480 WHBC. I always love this week, enjoy it so much because we get to share such wonderful information for you about all the options throughout Stark County. And what better place for us to start than with our old friends at Liberty HealthShare? I shouldn't say old, right? That's probably not good, Dorsey Morrow.
I don't know. That's probably pretty descriptive.
Pretty accurate for us, right?
Days, yes.
And I have, of course, with me right now is Dorsey Morrow. He is the Chief Executive Officer and Liberty HealthShare. Boy, so how long have you guys been doing this at Liberty HealthShare?
Well, Liberty, we have been operating for the past 30 years. As a matter of fact, we are celebrating our 30th year. And started that, and just it's really mind-blowing when you think about it, how long we've been doing this.
Yeah, and so how successful it all is, too.
Indeed.
And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. The last time I was here, we had a wonderful conversation about something you were just getting ready to kick off, correct?
That's right. That's right.
That's your Sharing Hearts Fund.
Sharing Hearts Fund, basically helping those in Stark County with pediatric wellness. And we've just been really excited about this. This is kind of the culmination of what I was trying to get accomplished when I started here. The opportunity to, as you and I have talked a lot about doing good in the community, being a force for good. And this was just being able to help families who would not otherwise be able to help themselves with pediatric wellness issues. And that's, health checkups, dental, vision, hearing checkups, things of that sort. And we just recently finished out the first basically launch of the Sharing Hearts Fund, and we helped multiple families, some of them with a number of children in the families, and we were able to share out about $25,000 to those families.
Okay, so for those who are hearing about this for the very first time, explain how it works.
A very simple process. The Sharing Hearts Fund was set up to where those in need within Stark County who have children under the ages of 18 years could apply. And again, it's pediatric wellness that we're focusing on, getting that health checkup at the doctor that they might not otherwise get. If they need to go see the dentist or a vision specialist or an audiologist, any of those that can help the children, because it's so critical when you're young, you want them to be focused on one thing, and that's school. And so we want to be able to help the families afford those health checkups, make sure they're ready for learning.
Yeah, start off on a good foot. Yeah, because once you do that, start in a healthy manner, then that's a good way to set a good foundation, right?
Yes, indeed. It's kind of tough to study when you've got a toothache or you can't read the book or you're not hearing the teacher properly.
Yeah. So were people receptive to this? I mean, how, I know you were looking for partnerships and things like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Very receptive. We were thrilled with the response that we got. Canton Repository worked with us. They were really good in reaching out to the community and helping us make those contacts. They put out a number of print ads as well as hosting us on their website for this. And then we had 5 or 6 local individuals who were key in engaging in the community. And I want to recognize them, Jen Warner from the Legacy Project, Scott Schneiders from Refuge of Hope, Amanda Anschutz from Compassion Delivered, and Pastor Walter Moss. And then we also had Amy Hagan, our VP of Medical Services. And this was sort of the committee that helped us identify and helped us actually improve the program. We're really excited. They're going to be staying on with us for the next phase of this. And looking forward to all that we can accomplish then.
Yeah, those are all wonderful people. That's a great representation of the community for sure.
We were very blessed.
Yeah, very, very nice. And so, did you hear from the people who actually, were given some of the awards?
We did. Quite honestly, it was heartwarming. I loved reading the emails and hearing the comments. These were people that were not going to be able to afford this type of care under other circumstances, and so just the opportunity to help them and to have a chance to be a force for good here Stark County. The conversation with our community partners kind of really leaves me optimistic, and I'm excited about the next phase and how many more people that we can really help.
Yeah, I would imagine. And how many, do you have any kind of a number of who you helped or how many you helped this last time?
I don't have an exact number, but it was quite a few. And of course, as I mentioned, we shared out about $25,000, so that was quite a bit.
And I would imagine
we're looking to grow it.
Right, and I would imagine that there are people out there who don't know that this even exists. If they want to find out more about it, how can they go about doing that?
Absolutely. We're going to be, again, having a big push right before we do this, which will probably be in the fall, just about when school starts. We don't have an exact date right now, but we are working towards that. And once again, we'll be pushing it through the Canton Repository and putting out flyers, contacting our community representatives. Again, the members on the committee that were helping us have great contacts and have told us you need to be dropping off flyers here and connecting with people here at various locations on how to get people involved.
And as you look forward to the next one, what have you learned from this first grant cycle?
Wow, a lot. We learned a lot about how to reach people, which you would think when you've got money that you're trying to give away that it would just be people beating down your door, and that's not the case. For whatever reason, it's about getting the message out there and how we can help. It was also, I think a lot of people were concerned about how they would engage with a medical provider. Do I need to select them? What do I need to do? How do I schedule that? And it was about contact us. We will help you with that aspect of it as well. We wanted to make this as easy as possible, and that's certainly what we're trying to accomplish on the next go-round.
Yeah, what's that process like for someone who's wanting to apply? How does that all work?
Simple one-page form that they'll fill out, give us a little background information about them, about the needs of the child, and what they're looking to accomplish, whether it's going to the doctor for that general checkup, or if they need dental or vision, if they have multiple children in need, whatever the situation is. And they fill out the form, get it submitted by the deadline, and again, we'll have that determined here in the coming months. And then we have the committee go through, and they select those that we're going to help with the Sharing Hearts Fund.
And we're talking about one thing. The Sharing Hearts Fund is just one of the things that you guys do. And so for somebody who's just saying, so what is Liberty HealthShare? Maybe we should explain that a little bit.
Absolutely. This has been one of the things that's sort of the highlight of my career, and being involved with Liberty HealthShare. We are a Christian ministry. We are a Christian nonprofit charitable organization that we share with our members. Our members contribute every month, and then as they have medical needs, whether they're going to the doctor for, little Tommy's got a head cold or a flu, whatever, or somebody's needing, they've got to have a heart replacement, whatever the situation is, our members share with each other in those medical needs. And so fundamentally, we are just facilitating between our members. And the beauty of it all is we pray for them, we're involved with them, we want them to feel cared for.
And I would imagine also that there are many folks out there looking for an alternative, looking for something that they feel would be better, different, and more engaging and helpful. They have more control of their health care
absolutely,
service.
Absolutely. One of the things is, we have an optional network, but our members are not obligated to use that. Just our members can see whatever doctor, go to whatever hospital they want to go to see, and they have control over that process, as well as knowing that Liberty HealthShare, as a Christian ministry, there are certain things we don't share into and are not involved with, and so there's that aspect of the control as well.
Okay, and if someone's saying, they're on the fence, they're thinking about getting in touch, what would you say to them to say, yeah, let's do this?
Absolutely. I would encourage them, reach out to us. We would love to talk with you. We want people to understand the ministry. that they're getting involved with. So we provide a lot of detail. They can reach out to us, info@libertyhealthshare.org if they want. They can call in, speak to our sales team. They will certainly talk to them about the options and the possibilities of being a member.
And if they want to help out with the Sharing Hearts Fund also, because I'm sure a lot of folks are saying, boy, I'd like to look into that or like to help out with it.
Yes, ma'am. We would certainly welcome that as well. We've been very blessed. We've had a number of people contribute over the years, and so this is an opportunity. We would welcome anybody to contribute to the Sharing Hearts Fund. And again, they can reach out to us at info@libertyhealthshare.org.
Awesome stuff. Now, we have so many other things to talk about this morning.
It's going to be a busy morning.
Yes, it is going to be a busy morning. Lots of things to share that people need to know about Liberty HealthShare. And so we'll take our first break and come back. It is Health Week, day one. We are at Liberty HealthShare, and we would love for you to stay tuned. We're live on Facebook as well, right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Celebrating a century of broadcasting.
This is Tom Hamilton, WHBC, celebrating its 100th anniversary. Congratulations to everyone.
News Talk 1480 WHBC, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting excellence.
Start healing sooner. When you need surgery, we're here for you. Here to help you put aside the excuses so you don't put off the surgery you need any longer. Altman is here with more board-certified surgeons in more locations close to home. State-of-the-art robot-assisted surgeries, along with a wide scope of surgical procedures and treatments. All here for you, and all here at Altman.
Hello, it's Craig Sanders from Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon. Listen to this Progressive Power Buy.
This event is actually bigger than our usual Power Buys. Come in now and save thousands during our service loaner sale. It's like buying a new Chevy, but at a used car price. Our customers use these vehicles as loaners. When they get a few hundred miles on them, we sell them at a big discount. These are like new vehicles, and you get all the new car benefits, but at a drastically reduced price. Progressive has a great selection of these service loaners to choose from. This Progressive Power Buy is perfect for anybody who really wants a new car, truck, or SUV, but really only wants a used car price. Again, these are like new Chevy vehicles from our service loaner fleet. You get all the new car benefits, but at a much lower price. But hurry, with these massive discounts, they will sell fast, so don't miss your chance. Together, let's drive.
Shop Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon.
Call 833-853-3094 for offer details. Stock number C25-188, MSRP $26,190. Offer ends upon sale of eligible vehicles.
I knew I was going to grow older. I just didn't know it was going to happen this fast. Hi, I'm Pam Cook for New Horizon Wealth Management. Talk about something creeping up on you. I feel like I just planned my oldest son's high school graduation, and it's been almost 20 years. But planning is still important. In fact, it's key. And that's exactly what Bob Foudy and his great team at New Horizon Wealth Management believe. They offer a portfolio stress test. It helps you understand if you're overexposed to risk, and that allows you to be more comfortable in your retirement. Financial planning is not just for the wealthy. With New Horizon Wealth Management, it's a new beginning. Take control of your future. Make an appointment today. 330-499-1915. They're on Fulton Road in Canton. The website is nhwealth.biz.
Securities and advisory services offered through Packerland Brokerage Services, Inc., an unaffiliated entity. Member FINRA and SIPC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against loss in periods of declining values.
1480 WHBC is a Stark County original, and while we celebrate our 100 years, we also want to recognize other Stark County businesses like Athens Restaurant, who's been serving the best Greek breakfast and lunches on the corner of 9th and Harrison since 1976. The staff at Athens Restaurant makes it fun and will welcome you with open arms, serving Stark County fast, no matter how long it takes. For unique charm and great food, visit Athens Restaurant.
As much as we say we love nature, when it comes to bugs, not so much. When it comes to trees, the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture wants you to know that most insects are not harmful to trees, especially if their populations are small. There are exceptions to that, but don't forget, every insect has a predator that's just looking to make it a meal. So sometimes it's just good to let nature take care of itself. If you're concerned about insects on your trees, find an ISA certified arborist near you at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
And welcome back to Health Week right here on 1480 WHBC. It is the 9th annual Health Week. We're spending our first day of Health Week at Liberty HealthShare on Hills and Dales in Canton. And boy, we've already had such a wonderful conversation with the CEO, Dorsey Morrow, about the Sharing Hearts Fund and all of the things that Liberty Healthcare represents. And now we're going to talk to Amy Hagan, who is Vice President of Medical Services. Hello.
Good morning, Pam. How are you?
I'm just peachy keen. So glad to have you this morning.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So, well, first of all, just tell me a little bit about yourself. I always like the listeners to, get an idea of who they're hearing from and how long you've been here, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Amy, and I have been a career nurse. I'm not going to tell you how many years because that will date me, and we were already talking about being old friends. So I have been in the healthcare system for pretty much all of my career and adult life. So it's my pleasure to be able to help others be able to live healthier and good lives and be able to get more out of their health care every single day.
Yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. So let's talk about relationships and thankfulness, because I think this is, not something everybody would associate with healthcare, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. But, I think we've all had at least one opportunity to feel the effects of a positive interaction. I know I have, and we've all had that ability to feel the effects of a negative interaction. So physically, we've been able to feel how that feels. But, I'm not a scientist, so we aren't going to just take my word for it or your word for it, right? Okay. So I did a little research, and according to the Harvard Medical School, there are several factors that account for the health benefits of connecting with others. They found this connection really relieves harmful levels of stress, and it increases the stress adversity effects of coronary artery disease. We've all heard about that. Gut function, there's a lot of chatter about gut function out there in the health world today. Insulin regulation. Stress makes a huge, huge difference in insulin regulation, and absolutely your immune system.
And, you know, when you talk about stress, people don't realize what kind of an effect it is having on them overall. They may think, oh, yeah, I'm tired or whatever, but there are a lot of things that can cause problems like that. What about not having a relationship at all? Because you're talking about a positive and a negative one, right?
Right. So I think that the research has shown us as well, and I think we've all felt it a little bit, that not having any significant relationships, people suffer more from depression, anxiety, and they affect the immune system. So we find that those individuals, we see them more in the healthcare system because they have more and more symptoms of different illnesses, and some of it is real, and some of it truly is the mental effect of not having a positive relationship.
So how does this connect to Liberty HealthShare? I mean, what's the connection here, and why should they make this one of their, priorities or things that they talk about?
Well, I think there's two things. I think that as a healthcare sharing ministry, the ministry part of us believes in building and maintaining good relationships, as this is the crucial aspect of Christian living. And the Bible places emphasis on love as the cornerstone of Christian living and creating environments where healthy relationships can thrive. And we spoke already about the impacts of good relationships on your health. So the other part is, our financial aspect of what we do. And I think that as being members of the healthcare community, we want each other to be healthy. And that's our primary goal. We don't want to really have to worry about having to provide the resources to help you. Yeah. We want the resources to be there to keep us all healthy. So I think that means less medical expenses, and so that those individuals who really do need the help from the ministry, we have all of those extra resources for them.
And so that brings about the word thankful, because you would be thankful for all of that. So talk about being thankful and how people can really, bring that more into their lives.
Sure. So thankfulness typically shows appreciation for benefits received, often in just responses to another person's kind action, gestures, kindness. And I think that just being more aware of you and your surroundings. And one of the biggest things that I found is researching this topic is that of turning it more, instead of trying to make me feel good, how can I help others feel good? And I think that by just our gestures to people and being more kind, showing a smile, you don't even have to say anything, just your kindness and opening doors. I think just by being more aware of your surroundings and what can I do today to help another person. I may be the only person today that has shown this individual some appreciation. So be that person.
Is that a benefit to your health as well, to be thankful?
Absolutely it is. And I think that we all know, and we've all been there, that life is so busy these days. Busy, busy, busy. And I see that with my children and my grandchildren. And by taking more moments just to step back, breathe, savor those moments, and be thankful for being there instead of having to worry about what I could be doing during this time, be thankful that you have the ability to be there. Look for the silver linings in different situations. Look outward, not inward. Breathe when you feel that your temper when you're being challenged. Breathe in 3 seconds. Hold it for 1 and breathe out for 3. And I think that 7 seconds helps you to triggers your mind.
Yeah. My watch
to
will do
treat.
that. It'll tell me breathe.
Oh,
and then-
will it?
Yeah, it's one of the, my...
I haven't trained mine yet. It tells me to walk.
My smartwatch, I go. But so this, I would imagine, has effect on you both mentally and physically, correct?
It does. Physical and mental health are absolutely intertwined. The human body, as we know, is just just an amazing building block, and it's so interconnected with the health aspect. And let's just take, for example, stress. This triggers a cascade of all kinds of physiological responses. It releases hormones. We've all heard of hormones: dopamine, estrogen, cortisol, dopamine, and those are all great, but in large amounts on a consistent basis, that can really harm our physical and mental health. And mental health and physical health are so intertwined. When your mental health is high, your physical health can be high as well. When you're not feeling well, it can really get to your mental health and vice versa. So it's so important to keep both of those aspects healthy.
All right, we're going to take a break for the news, and when we come back, Amy will be with us, and we're going to tell you how to be an exceptional patient. We want you to learn more, so just stay with us. It is Health Week here on 1480 WHBC.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
Stop in all week at Ben Wollenberg's Chocolates and Nuts, where cashews are just $9.95 a pound. Ben Wollenberg's, 25th Street in Fulton, Northwest in Canton.
JT here for Roof Max. When was the last time you were on your roof? When's the last time you had that roof inspected? If you're like me, it's never. But now you can get a free inspection from the nation's #1 rated roofer, Roof Max. Call them today at 330-500-9505 or online at maxyourroof.com.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Spring into freshness with Burndale Water Experts. For clean, soft water you can trust. Call 330-455-9466 or visit burndalewater.com. Pure water, pure peace of mind.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom. If you own a Harley, you're going to want to listen up. Harley-Davidson motorcycle owners are being told by the manufacturer they've issued a recall. It impacts certain Softail models from 2018 to 2024. National Highway Safety Traffic Administration says part of the rear shock preload adjuster can break, damaging the rear tire and making driving it unsafe. Impacted owners should get notified by mail and can get it fixed for free. Newly elected Pope Leo XIV spoke to 30,000 people at Chicago's Rate Field in his first address to an American crowd. Appearing by live video on the scoreboard, the Chicago-born pontiff thanked U.S. Catholics for their prayers, urged kindness toward migrants, and asked listeners to build bridges, not walls. Bilingual event opened with the U.S. and Peruvian anthems, followed by a mass celebrated by Cardinal Blaise Cuppich. Pope Leo promised an in-person visit very soon and closed by blessing the city and, of course, its baseball team. Goliath, a 517-pound Galapagos tortoise at Zoo Miami, celebrated its 135th birthday and its first Father's Day over the weekend. One egg out of a clutch of 8 laid on January 27th successfully hatched on June 4th, marking the first time one of the endangered reptiles has hatched at Zoo Miami. Goliath hatched on the island of Santa Cruz in 1885 and arrived at the Bronx Zoo in 1929. The new hatchling's mother, Sweet Pea, is estimated to be between 85 and 100 years old. And in sports, the Guardians lost to Seattle 6-0. And in the NBA Finals, it's Game 5 tonight with the series tied at 2 games apiece. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny this afternoon. Still a shot at a thunderstorm, a high 78. Clouds and humid. Shower tonight, low 68. Partly sunny, shower and thunderstorm. Some of that could be heavy late tomorrow. Damaging wind, flash flooding, and hail possible. High tomorrow, 78. Variable cloudiness, a warmer day on Wednesday. A thunderstorm, and the high near 84. Plan with confidence. Check out AccuWeather.com and download the free app today. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
It is Health Week, and it is the 9th annual Health Week that we've had at WHBC, and it's always a wonderful week filled with lots of great information. We're kicking it all off today at Liberty HealthShare, and we have Amy Hagan with us, and Amy is the Vice President of Medical Services. We've been talking about relationships and thankfulness, and now we're going to talk about how to be an excellent patient when receiving care. I think everybody needs to take notes on this, right?
Oh.
So, I mean, what does it mean to be an excellent patient?
So I think, Pam, everybody has kind of their own idea of how to be an excellent patient. And I think what an excellent patient was 10 years ago is very different from what an excellent patient is today. I think that in the healthcare industry has evolved so much, and it's so robust, and there's so many ideas and concepts and everything out there that it's more of an expectation to be participating in your healthcare, not just receiving. And so I think being an excellent patient used to be, okay, I'll go in, I sit, the doctor tells me what to do, and I go home and I do it. That's being an excellent patient, right?
Right.
But I think that being an excellent patient now is actually being prepared. And that's really working and cooperating with your medical team, preparing for appointments, asking appropriate questions, understanding your treatment plan, participating in your treatment plan, agreeing and disagreeing with a treatment plan, openly communicating any concerns you have in regards to being able to fulfill that treatment plan. Taking these steps really helps to ensure that we receive the best care possible, and it really does enhance our relationship with our providers. It does not cause a barrier.
Yeah. And I'm sure they appreciate it. What should be your goal? What should be your goal when you go to the doctors?
Well, I think that when you go to the doctors, is preparation and knowing what you want and why you're going there. Mm-hmm. I think that we all go out to dinner every now and then, right? And the goal is to help to feed the hunger, or to go out and have relationships, or just get out of the house, right? Mm-hmm. And when we go into a restaurant, we go in there, they give us a menu, and they don't just look at you and say, I think that you want a fish sandwich tonight, or you look like you could use a salad instead of a hamburger, right?
Right.
Right. So we make the decision of what we want. And I think that with our health care, we need to be starting to be better consumers in regards to our health care. So I believe that preparation is so important. And the time to prepare for an appointment or prepare for a physician for physician care is while you're feeling well, not when you need it. So that I feel that that's really, really important.
And as you're preparing for all of this, when you speak with your healthcare provider, your doctor, what should you keep in mind? What kinds of things are good, what not so good?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that you should keep in mind. First and foremost, I think there's a couple things. There are some people who are very, very financially worried. I do want to go to the doctor, or I don't want to go to the doctor because of the financial burden it may or may not cause on me. So I think that there's that, and then the medical care that may or may not be given. So if you're financially worried about your health care, I think that there's so many different ways to be a good consumer. I know here at Liberty HealthShare, we help our members be good consumers by helping provide them different tools. We have different consumer websites that they can look at. We've got Healthcare Blue Book. We have providers that participate in an optional network. So preparing for that ahead of time and not just showing up in the office and then having the provider saying, you owe this, and being surprised is helping to be a very, very good consumer. And then I think then there's the medical aspect. Once you've done that, and you're there, be aware of who you are as a human being, what you're feeling. Make a list of your medications. Keep them with you all the time. We have got pieces of paper that we can put in our wallet. A lot of us have iPhones, and you talked about your watch, right on your watch. And I think that we think that the older that we get, that we don't utilize those type of equipment. And I am here to tell you that my mother is in a retirement community, and those ladies who are in their mid to upper 80s are much more computer savvy and more savvy with their technical devices than I am. So I think that we can help by doing that. And making sure that you're familiar with your family's history if you have the ability to. And if you don't, know your history inside and out. And make sure that you are, when you present to a doctor, let them know how you're feeling. If you're feeling well, or if there's something that's bothering you. Be honest and open. Yep, that is a huge, big thing.
So what are the things you shouldn't do? There's got to be some faux pas in there, right?
Okay. Well, I think that when you talk about, we talked about having positive relationships and how that really does help you physically. I think that by thinking of your relationship with your healthcare provider it's a positive relationship. And so we want to be respectful. Okay. There's a fine line with being, demanding and respectful. And so healthcare providers, are human as well. I think we've all been in doctors' offices where the doctors get behind, and you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And there's a reason, having been on the other side of that and being a healthcare provider, and there are some people who just take a little bit longer. And I think that we want to make sure that we respect that, because that healthcare provider should be able to spend that same amount of time with us,
right?
Without being hurried. Ignoring the advice that's given. So when we talk about a treatment plan, if the doctor's asking you to do something that you don't feel that you can participate in or do, it's very, very important to talk about that goal. Talk about why you can't run an extra mile, why you can't do cardio, why you can't do that. And then have them give you alternatives. That is something that you can work into your life. It's very, 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 very important. And I think the biggest, another point is not being open and honest about what is going on. Yeah. I think we're all we don't want to acknowledge. Or if we are feeling something and the provider or somebody dismisses how you're feeling.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, I understand that this is but this is really what I'm feeling. It's okay to be open and honest with your feeling. So preparation before you go helps you to have those conversations.
Yeah, don't be afraid. I mean, I
Right.
would imagine a lot of people are afraid to say things.
Right,
probably.
absolutely. And providers want to hear that. They want to be participating in your care and get the best outcome that you can.
And do most of them mind if you bring someone along, someone with you, just maybe a second set of ears or
No.
anything like that?
I think that anymore that's normal, whether it be your significant other, your spouse, or just a really close friend. I think that sometimes friendships, you can be more open and honest with your friends, and having a conversation with them and letting them know how you're feeling, what's going on, because you're the one who's put on the spot. You're the one who is going to have the conversation. So maybe having that conversation with someone ahead of time, practicing it, they can bring things up that maybe you forget. They could say, Pam, didn't you say you lost this, or you were having a hard time remembering, or you were, yes. And that can help to bring up some really difficult conversations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's I think, especially for older folks, I know I go with my mom all the time because that's an important thing to her to have, like she always says, that second set of ears.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
and when you talk about, not being afraid to say to a doctor, here's what I want, or here's what I'm hoping for, or whatever, is it also, that second opinion thing? Sometimes people are so afraid of that.
Yeah, and I think that, again, in the healthcare world, it's okay to ask for a second opinion. And, but I think that it's how you ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, that's preparation. And sometimes if you do have a friend there, that friend can say, well, you know what? I agree with this. How about she go have a second opinion? So sometimes it may be bringing the friend or your significant other, and they bring the conversation up. That way, the patient isn't put in that position.
Still
And
maintain a good
absolutely
relationship.
with that relationship. Yes.
And this, everything we've talked about for the last half hour, it all fits in, it all interchanges, and I know it fits the mission of Liberty HealthShare as well, correct?
Absolutely. We really encourage our members to be to be healthy and focus on their annual wellness, and as a matter of fact, we just increased the sharing for our annual wellness, and we're really excited about being able to do that. And it's so important just to be proactive instead of reactive in our care.
All right, we're going to take our final break this hour. We are at Liberty HealthShare. It is Health Week, Day 1. And, of course, we're live on Facebook as well, so make sure you check us out there. And listen, right here on 1480 WHBC.
Hi, this is Rhonda from Rhonda's Furniture and Mattress. Is it time to replace that old recliner? We have a huge selection of recliners from leather and leather-looking to upholstery. Our furniture brings style and comfort, and Rhonda's Furniture has power lift chairs starting at just $699. From the kitchen to the bedroom, Rhonda's Furniture has it all. Visit us off Route 30 in Dalton or online at rondasfurniture.com. It's worth the drive from wherever you are.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV in Columbus has more.
Haley Kirby, reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland has the details. In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs From voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers slippers. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers slippers. Get your slippers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. And make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
We are also live on Facebook, I might add, and thank you, Billy Beebe, for that wonderful introduction. We are thankful that you're tuning in. It's been a wonderful morning so far as the folks here at Liberty HealthShare, we've kind of opened up to a lot of different things that we can talk about, and now we're going to talk about nutrition, one of the most important things. Michaela Witter, team lead, care navigation, is with us right now. Hello.
Hi.
Are you going to give us some tips on how to be nutritionally sound?
Oh, yes, all the good things.
So people talk so much about it, about your nutrition. So what is that? What does that mean, really?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, nutrition is very important. It plays a really critical role in your overall health, development, wellness. Better nutrition and better understanding of nutrition can be related to stronger immune systems, longevity, a lower risk of non-communicable diseases like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes.
And so at the basic level, what do we mean when we talk about nutrition?
When it comes down to it, nutrition is the study of food and how it nourishes the body. Nutrients that we take in from our food keep your body working as it should. Therefore, it's very important to eat a healthy, well-balanced diet so we can function properly and maintain sustainability.
So when we talk about nutrition, how do we make it work? Planning, is that something that's important?
Yes, planning is very, very important, especially if you want to stick to the nutrients you should be taking in. Meal planning is the key to eating healthier, saving yourself some time, and spending less. And with groceries these days, spending less is it's a good benefit.
Yeah, it can be very tough.
Yes, and it may seem overwhelming at first, but small, gradual changes can make it manageable. Planning your nutrition ensures you're eating a variety of meals and encourages you to consume more fruits and vegetables, which can lower your risk of chronic illnesses.
And so when some people say nutrition, they say, oh, that's a diet, right? But that's not what it is. It should be your daily lifestyle, right?
Yes, and it all comes down to balance. You know, everyone's going to indulge every now and again, but if you have a good balance throughout your whole life, that's what's most important.
All right, so what are some of the best practices for planning?
So you want to determine your individual nutritional needs and always consult your doctor, but also bring to them the things that you like and the goals you want to get out of your nutrition. Pay attention to your portion sizes, limit processed and sugary foods. Staying hydrated is very important. Consider any restrictions or preferences and monitor your progress and adjust as needed.
And so how do you know how much water you should have every day, or, what are the certain amounts that you should be having?
Yeah, you should definitely always consult your provider because everybody is different. Nobody is the same, not even identical twins. So it's really individualized, and a lot of it's off of BMI for water intake, how much you weigh, and then your individual needs can vary.
And do you see people having a hard time making those plans? Like, does it feel like work for some people?
Yeah, I think so, and I'm guilty of that as well.
I hear you.
But like I said, those small steps you can take really makes it more manageable.
Okay, what is the best plan? Do you think? When you talk about the individualization for people.
Cooking at home, using healthy cooking techniques, eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, enjoying fruit for dessert. I'm a sweet tooth, but if you can kind of substitute now and again with fruit, that makes it easier. Choosing your whole grains and planning ahead. If you're somebody who likes to eat out, take a look at their menu ahead of time, and almost every restaurant these days has nutritional facts for their menus.
They do, and some of them are very scary.
Yes. That's why it's good to plan ahead.
Yeah, you look at something and go, what?
Yes.
I didn't know it had that much sodium in it,
Yes.
Half the time that's what you end up seeing. And so when people are trying to, once they get this down, maybe to a planning science, then, what kinds of benefits does that have?
Yeah, so you're getting the, nutrients you need to prevent those diseases, your diabetes, your heart disease. So it benefits you, stress management, fruits and vegetables, getting all those good nutrients in.
And people can probably make themselves feel better and relieve that stress when it comes to setting up a nutritional plan. But like jumping in, full force is probably
it's scary. It's daunting,
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And using your provider, maybe people in your life who are big into nutrition. And I don't want to say dieting, but research all the different kinds of diets and then take what you like from each one and making sure you're getting a well-balanced diet. It seems less of a diet and more of just a lifestyle.
Yeah. And when you talk about fruits and vegetables, are there any to avoid? I mean, are there any that are not good for you?
I wouldn't say they're not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
People want to talk about they may be high in starch, but it's good to have all of them so you're getting all the best nutrients that each vegetable and fruit provide.
And we talk about meats and poultry and fish and things like that. What about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you want to stick to leaner meats, your chicken, poultry, turkey, fish. But again, it's good to have red meat every now and again as well.
And if you had one basic tip, just one thing that you could say to everyone, what would that be?
The greatest thing I like to do is planning ahead. I like to order my groceries so I'm not walking down every aisle and picking out, oh, that looks good. Not going to the grocery store hungry as well helps.
Yeah, and that's I am a list maker.
Yes,
I'm always
making a list.
Yeah, and I have to stick to it. But you're right. If you're in the store, there 10 times out of 10, you're gonna grab something else, right?
Especially if you're hungry.
Yeah, yeah. If you go there hungry, you're gonna get cookies or
Yes.
something like that. Well, we appreciate you explaining all that to us, and it's a lot of great advice. We're going to take our final break for the news, and then next hour, so many things to talk about. We'll get more in depth about Liberty HealthShare and tell you more about what they do and how they do it and why it might be something you would be interested in. And we'll continue to do that. It is Health Week. It is day 1, and we appreciate you tuning in. Also live on Facebook right now, and this is 1480 WHBC.
Hello, it's Craig Sanders from Progressive Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Massillon. Listen to this Progressive Power Buy.
This is actually bigger than a power buy. Save thousands right now during our service loaner sale. Choose from our fleet of former service loaners. We have a huge selection available. It's like buying a new Ram or Jeep, but at a used vehicle price. Our customers use these vehicles as loaners. When they get a few hundred miles on them, we sell them at a big discount. These are like new vehicles, and you get all the new car benefits, but at a drastically reduced price. Progressive has a huge selection of these service loaners to choose from. Ram trucks and Jeeps, all discounted, saving you thousands of dollars. We've had these service loaner sales in the past, and they were very popular. We're expecting them to sell fast once again, so don't miss your chance. Get your new Ram or Jeep for a used car price.
Shop Progressive Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Massillon.
833-853-2976 for details. Stock number D24608, MSRP 58070. Offer ends upon sale of eligible vehicles.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys. And I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
This is WHBC News. Good morning. I'm Pam Cook. It'll be humid today with a chance for a thunderstorm, but still could see some sunshine as well. A high around 78, mostly cloudy tonight, low 68, and then more thunderstorms possible tomorrow, and again, a high around 78. 4 people were shot inside a bar in a small area of Canton Township that lies within the city of Canton, and that places the investigation at Ashton's Bar and Grill on A Street Northeast at Marietta Avenue in the hands of the Stark County Sheriff's Office. Deputies were called out at 3 a.m. yesterday. They say witnesses at the establishment provided no information on the shooter. The Sheriff's Office says the 4 suffered injuries that were not life-threatening. Meantime, 8 people were injured in a shooting in Columbus from Saturday. 1 victim is in critical condition. 2 teens are among those victims. Akron police detectives are looking into the tragic shooting death of a 15-year-old boy. Patrol officers responded late Friday afternoon to South Rhodes Avenue near Oberlin Court, where the child had been shot once. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police have no suspects. Chief Brian Harding, in a statement, says this deeply affects us all. Vance Bolter was captured Sunday night near his farm in Green Isle, ending a huge search that began after 2 separate shootings left a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband dead and another couple badly injured. A motion-triggered trail camera spotted him and officers closed in a few hours later. Thousands gathered in downtown Canton on Saturday, many of them carrying No King signs in connection with a nationwide protest that swelled to more than 1,800 communities. It was a merging of the annual Downtown Canton Pride Festival and the local counter-programming effort to President Trump's U.S. Army Anniversary Parade in Washington. There was a march from the Pride Festival site at Centennial Plaza to the lawn of the Cultural Center for the Arts, where speakers included Mayor Bill Shearer and Congresswoman Amelia Sykes. The No Kings theme has a history back to the 1700s when the colonists rejected the leadership of King George III. They're planning to go it alone if they have to. Surprising and extremely disappointing, the reactions in Stark County after the county was unable to secure a $15 million grant from the Department of Correction and Rehabilitation for the jail renovation project.
Stark County's grant application really met all of kind of the criteria for receiving the state grant, including increased mental health treatment.
Commissioners will learn the maximum cost of the jail project tomorrow. It's possible it could reach 9 figures. I'm Pam Cook.
Now, your local weather forecast. Stick with us. News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast for this afternoon. Clouds and sun. Maybe a thunderstorm still in the area, high 78. Cloudy, humid, shower tonight, low 68. Partly sunny, shower and thunderstorm, heavy late tomorrow. That could bring some damaging wind, flash flooding, and hail. The high tomorrow, 78. Variable cloudiness, a thunderstorm around on Wednesday. High Wednesday, 84. Get your weather news when you want it from AccuWeather.com. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
The views expressed during the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of WHBC or Alpha Media Company.
It's Health Week 2025 on 1480 WHBC. Brought to you by Liberty HealthShare, the Stark County Health Department, Ortho United, Canton Regency, and CareSource. Let's join the host of Health Week, Pam Cook.
All right, it is Health Week, and this is hour number 2 with our friends at Liberty HealthShare today. And we're broadcasting live from their location on Hills and Dales in Canton. And we started out the show talking with the CEO, Dorsey Morrow, and he is back with me again this hour. We talked about the Sharing Hearts Fund, which is just such a wonderful, wonderful initiative. But now we're going to kind of get into more of what you guys do as a company, because I think it's important people know about your ministry, understand what you're about, and why this was all created. So let's first of all give a little explanation of what Liberty HealthShare is.
Absolutely. Liberty HealthShare is a sharing program. We are a nonprofit. We share. Our members are Christians from across the country. We have members in all 50 states. And basically they contribute every month into the program and whatever program they have selected for themselves. And Liberty serves as a facilitator of those funds. And so when members have a medical need, whatever it might be, that broken arm that little Timmy gets on the playground, or somebody needs to go to Doc in the Box, whatever, our members share into that. And Liberty serves as the facilitator. We like to joke around here that we try to go broke every month. What comes in, we try to push out to our members. So that's what we effectively serve as for our membership.
And I know that healthcare costs have gone up for so many people, continue to rise.
Very much so.
That's a very tough thing. Talk about how it's worked for you guys.
You know, it's one of the beauties of being a nonprofit health sharing ministry is that we really don't have profit. There is no profit sharing. There are no surpluses. There are no reserves of any sort. We share out what is brought in. We take a small percentage off to kind of help pay to keep the lights on and to buy that computer that we need, or have the accountants look over things. But we are very strict and very cautious on how we spend that money, because we want as much of it as possible to go out the door for our membership. So it's been a great model, and we've been proud to do it now for the past 30 years.
Wow. And that has to be very attractive for people.
Indeed. Since we are not insurance, we are not anything like that. There are no high executive salaries. There are no, surplus. There's no profit. We're not pushing things back out to the stockholders. There's none of that.
So I was here a year ago, and we talked about your dental program, which is now up and running for almost a year, right?
Indeed. We have been so excited about the dental program. That was one of those things that one of our members suggested it to us, and we got to exploring. And one of our driving initiatives is to be the most comprehensive health share out there. We want to provide as much as possible for our membership. And so the dental program was the result of that, of listening to our members and trying to add value. We've worked really hard on that, and I think it's been our willingness to explore options. We're always looking, can we do this a little bit better, faster, cheaper? Just we want to improve in every way possible. And, and in fact, so much so that, and I'm really proud of this point, just recently, Charity Navigator awarded us 4 stars, which is really high, and it puts us right up there with the country's best nonprofit programs. So we're really, really proud of the opportunity to do that, and the dental program was just sort of an outgrowth of that. We've got more than 3,000 members that have opted into the dental program. And about 30% of new members, when they come on, select to add the dental program onto whatever underlying program they're choosing. So we feel like the program meets the needs of our members. It gives them flexibility and choice in their dental care, and so it's operating actually probably better than we had hoped.
And from that also, one of the things you've always said to me is that you like to evolve and you want to make sure you're continuing to welcome in new programs and things like that. So, I mean, what path are you on right now?
Oh, man. That's what I love about working with this team. This team, we've got a great set of people that work here who we are always looking at how we operate, what we're doing, what we're providing, and we're very responsive to our members. Our members will send in an email, hey, have you guys thought about doing this, or have you considered that? And we actually do a survey of our membership from time to time. Usually at least once or twice a year we'll do an active survey. Hey, what can we do to improve? And they are responsive. And so I love it. We're constantly evaluating how we do those things and what new programs we can bring on. And so one of those here we're looking at actively right now that I can talk about kind of in early stages is a vision program. It's still very early, but things are very optimistic, looking right. We've got some more vendors that we need to talk to see about how things match up and work together, but I'm quite optimistic about it.
That's great, and that would be, the dental, the vision, all the traditional things that people would probably be after.
Exactly. We want to be, and I feel like we are the most comprehensive HealthShare organization out there. We're trying to just kind of span a lot of areas for our members and be very comprehensive. And, of course, that's a never-ending job. Yeah. Healthcare is constantly evolving, and life throws all sorts of things at you. We want to be there and provide those options for our members.
We were talking before we came on the air about there's so much news, so much happening everywhere. In Washington, we're hearing about possible changes in healthcare and things. I mean, talk a little bit about that. How is that going to affect, do you think, affordable healthcare?
Ooh, that's a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of talk in D.C. about what they want to try and accomplish, what's going on in the respective states. So, I do believe that the concept of health sharing is becoming better known, and that's a good thing because we want to be part of that marketplace of ideas. And I think the marketplace will reflect an openness to what we do if we continue to do it well. We want to demonstrate who we are, what we do, and how it helps people. I'm hopeful that positive change is going to be coming out of D.C. and that we're positioned to meet the needs of a new population of potential members, Christian members.
And I always have to ask you this. I ask you it all the time. You've been the CEO here for a while what are you most proud of? Has it changed? I mean, are you adding things but what do you maintain is like the thing you're most proud of with all of this?
Wow. That's a big question there. When I arrived, and you and I have talked about this over the years, there were a lot of challenges that we were dealing with. Yeah. But we have come so far over that 4-year period, and I'm hesitant to point to a particular program or change that we've done because we've just been continually reevaluating everything that we do, and we want to bring that value to our memberships. But we've undergone a lot of changes, and God's been faithful to us every step of the way. I will say that the changes that this team and the colleagues that I work with, I've been blessed to work with here at Liberty. They have repeatedly shown the will and ability to adapt and improvise to deliver that value to our members. It's sort of the old Heartbreak Ridge. You remember with Clint Eastwood, adapt, improvise, overcome. That's what this team here has done. Bottom line, we are a ministry, a Christian ministry, that our members express love for one another by sharing into each other's medical expenses. And I think I'm most thrilled with that aspect and what we have become and will continue to evolve into.
Right. I like asking you that question. I always want to say.
I love answering it.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. We're going to move on to Amy here after we take our next break, bring her back, even though she's ruffling her nose over there just because she doesn't want to come back on. No,
Ask her to sing a song.
A song, that's
yes.
right. I forgot about that. She's so wonderful. Yeah. But Amy's going to come back on. She's the Vice President of Medical Services, and we're going to talk about how to be a great consumer for medical needs. We will do that as we will continue with Health Week at Liberty HealthShare today on 1480 WHBC.
Your doctor writes you a prescription and you head to the box store pharmacy to get it filled, only to find out it will be hours or maybe even a day before they can fill it. That is not how we do it at Fulton Drugs and Medicap Pharmacy. In most cases, you will get your prescription right away. We value our customers, so we provide fast, friendly customer service. We also offer free delivery and fair prices on prescriptions. We are your neighbors. Medicap Pharmacy in Massillon and Fulton Drugs in Canton, where you won't wait long for your prescriptions.
Wow, real estate headlines, interest rates, inflation,
It is very confusing. Hi, I'm Dominic Fonte with Dominic Fonte Associates with Cutler Real Estate. I have over 37 years experience. I helped over 2,600 families. I can help you too. Trusted, respected, recommended. Check out our more than 500 5-star reviews to see what you'll experience working with Dominic Fonte Associates. DominicFonte.com. Knowledge is power.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting. Just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147. Or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a closed drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler...
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
And welcome back to Health Week, Day 1. We are at Liberty HealthShare on Hills and Dales, and we've been having great conversations about a lot of different things, not only that Liberty HealthShare offers, but just some general practices when it comes to healthcare and how you can really get the most of it and make the most of it. And we have Amy Hagan, who is Vice President of Medical Services, back with us. And, you know, we want to talk about how to be a great consumer for medical needs. So people probably don't realize how much control they have or power they have as a consumer in terms of their medical care. So maybe give me a little idea of what they do have.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I think that it's really easy when you talk about being a consumer of any other kind of product that it's okay. It's okay to make a list and go to 3 different stores to get the most value, right?
Right.
And I think that in the past, people have felt like shopping and being a consumer of my health needs is not part of that, because I should trust my physician. I should trust my area hospital. I should trust this. I should trust that, and that I've been going there, and that lack of trust, or if I don't go there any longer, then it's going to do something bad to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you it's okay. And there's a lot of research out there that's there to tell you it's okay. And that with the cost of health care and so many choices that a consumer has, it's an expectation that we as consumers start really being more cognizant of the pricing and affordable health care that's out there.
What should we expect? I mean, I can only imagine that people have an idea in their mind what they'd want, but it's not always reality.
Sure, and I get that. I get that because, we're not programmed that way. And, as Michaela had talked a little bit about changing your diet and changing nutrition, nobody expects you to do it overnight. You do little steps at a time. So there are shoppable things for healthcare. And that's, as you talk about going out and getting lab work, okay? A lot of times you go to the doctor and they order lab work. And many healthcare insurance companies and or healthcare sharing ministries do have either a member responsibility, as we call it, or in the general world with health insurance, a deductible. And in order to get cost-effective health insurance or health care, those deductibles or member responsibilities are huge these days.
Yeah.
And so as a consumer, you deserve it to yourself. You owe it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be coming out of your pocketbook, really.
Yeah.
And so, when you start with those type of shoppable expenses, it becomes easier and easier for you.
And we hear the term fair and reasonable pricing. Tell me what that is.
So the term fair and reasonable is it's actually a concept. It's not really a definition. But if you look in the research, it's when you talk about fair and reasonable pricing, it's just not just in healthcare, but it's in everything that's out there. Businessmen every day are looking for fair and reasonable opportunities in their business. And so it just makes sense as a healthcare consumer that you look for fair and reasonable pricing in what you're receiving as well. So, it can be described as the price that a prudent business person would pay for an item or service under a competitive market condition, given a reasonable knowledge of the marketplace. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Yes. And so how we use that here at Liberty HealthShare is we use it off of a Medicare guideline. And so we use Medicare guidelines because it's used universally across the United States, and we are national across our membership is national, so it's a really good tool to be able to use as a guide. And then we'll add a certain percent onto that Medicare acceptable rate. We add plus that, depending on where the services are being billed and what part of the nation, because we all know that when you live in rural Montana, it's more difficult for you to get care.
Right.
It's more difficult for you to get care in some places in California because it's more expensive. And so whereas in Northwest Ohio, the cost of living is very different than there. So we have to take that into effect.
And I still have some more questions about this, so we're going to take our break for the news here right now, and when we come back, we'll finish up this, and then we've got some other things to talk about as well. Of course, this is Health Week. We're Liberty HealthShare on Hills and Dales, and glad that you could tune in today. We're live on Facebook, and we'll be back right here on 1480 WHBC.
Saving money is awesome. Saving money on items you actually use? Fantastic. Hi, Paul White for the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville. If you think you'll find the same low prices, huge variety, or great customer service at any other store, you'd be wrong. Stop into our store in Louisville and see what great deals we have. Follow us on our Facebook page at Half Off Store to see super specials. Why pay full price? Come in and experience the Half Off and Hot Buy store in Louisville, next to the Medicine Center Pharmacy.
Hey, sports fans, looking for one thing that doesn't require a lot of effort to get a big payoff? Look no further than Sugardale. Whether it's perfectly smoked bacon, juicy ham, or mouth-watering hot dogs, gives you those tailgating vibes, Sugardale's done the hard work for you. They know anything worth doing is worth doing right, so Sugardale expertly smokes, seasons, and cures their meats right here in Stark County. It's simple. Just head into your local retailer, reach for the package with the red oval, and leave the hard work to Sugardale.
Tune in each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You've made your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Vowdy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915. 330-499-1915.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Having a tough time paying your bills? Learn how to reduce your credit card debt to a fraction of what you owe. Call the Debt Helpline now for free advice. 800-329-9912. 800-329-9912.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Spring into freshness with Burndale Water Experts. For clean, soft water you can trust. Call 330-455-9466 or visit burndalewater.com. Pure water, pure peace of mind.
WHBC AM Kent, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, at least 3 people died and several others are still missing in West Virginia after flash flooding destroyed homes and washed away roadways. Up to 4 inches of rain fell in a 30-minute period in Ohio County, destroying homes and submerging vehicles. Emergency workers near Wheeling were using drones, dogs, and swiftwater rescue teams to search for the missing individuals. Governor of West Virginia declared a state of emergency. ICE has ordered agents to stop making immigration arrests at farms, restaurants, and hotels amid worries the crackdown is squeezing industries that rely heavily on migrant labor. 2 officials told CBS News that the sudden shift follows complaints from growers, hotel operators, and trade groups who fear losing staff during peak summer demand. A pair of New York hikers were struck by lightning near the summit of a 14,000-foot Colorado mountain and rescued in a multi-agency helicopter operation. One man was critically injured and airlifted to a burn unit, reported to be in fair condition. The other hiker was rescued hours later with minor injuries. And in sports, the Cleveland Guardians lost to Seattle 6-0. They'll play the Giants starting tomorrow night. In the NBA Finals, Game 5 is tonight in Oklahoma City. Tip-off is at 8:30. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Partly sunny this afternoon. Still a shot at a thunderstorm, a high 78. Clouds and humid. Shower tonight, low 68. Partly sunny, shower and thunderstorm. Some of that could be heavy late tomorrow. Damaging wind, flash flooding, and hail possible. High tomorrow, 78. Variable cloudiness, a warmer day on Wednesday. A thunderstorm, and the high near 84. Plan with confidence. Check out AccuWeather.com and download the free app today. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
Back, it is our Health Week, our 9th annual, believe it or not, day one. Liberty HealthShare. We are having a really good morning this morning talking about all the things that not only they offer, but some tips, as I mentioned, some tips on really how to navigate the healthcare world. And Amy Hagan, who is Vice President of Medical Services, is with me. Before the break, we were talking about how to be a great consumer for your medical needs. And the one thing I wanted you to explain to folks is maybe what resources Liberty HealthShare has to help people, figure things out and be good consumers.
Sure. So I think the resources that we have here at Liberty HealthShare, specifically for our members, could really be utilized across the nation. But we specifically, we have a website that we call HST Connect, and our members go on HST Connect and they can look to see whether or not a provider is a participating provider in our network and whether or not they have a probability, what the percent of the potential is of receiving a balance bill or having more out-of-pocket expenses. So that's a great one. But if you're not a Liberty HealthShare member, you could just Google transparent healthcare pricing and, or just ask, them for the top 10, and there are so many resources that are out there. With the transparency rules and everything that are out there, it is your responsibility really to find out what a fair and reasonable price is or what the charged rate is so that you understand. I don't think that I wouldn't go out and buy a car if I didn't have any idea what the price was or what it was going to cost me. And I'd do some shopping and find out if I was really, really getting the right rate. So
and do your
really
homework,
important.
right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So we also want to talk about where to go to receive care based on what you need.
Absolutely.
That is incredibly important,
Yes.
correct?
So our conversation leads right into that because choosing the right care setting is really important because, number one, it could lead to faster treatment for you as either a member or a patient. Cost savings, absolutely. Better over your overall health outcome. And, so it's really an important part of decision making.
Right. And so you have to kind of separate, like what should you go to your primary care physician for? Is that one of the questions?
That is correct. Yes, that's so. So, when you think about there's so many avenues that are out there. So you want to kind of think about what's the best for you. First of all, I think that number one of pre-planning things when you're feeling well is very important. So telehealth visits are a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for people, especially if you've got children and they're ill and you don't really want to take them out. But a lot of people who've got telehealth available to them, it takes time to set up your account and things like that. So you're wasting valuable time. So people are reluctant to do that. And so they just get their kids ready and they just take them out to an urgent care. So that is an important part. We at Liberty HealthShare have telehealth available to our membership, and it's actually a free service for several of our memberships.
Yeah.
Great thing. So
yeah, because like you say, so should I call my doctor and wait for an appointment? Should I go to the emergency room? Should I go to urgent care? What do I do?
Right. And so I think that seeing your primary care physician is good for your routine things, for your screenings, for your follow-ups. If you're acutely ill and you have a great relationship, give them a call and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. Should I come there? And they can give you guidance of where to go. Absolutely.
And how does it affect your care if you go to the wrong place?
So I think that, well, let's just talk about going to an emergency room if I've got a sore throat. Okay. We all know that emergency rooms are for significant emergency care or life-threatening illnesses. So you should go to the emergency room if you're having chest pain or difficulty breathing, sudden weakness, numbness, slurred speech, stroke symptoms, any severe bleeding or trauma, a head injury where you've lost consciousness, seizures, severe allergic reaction, an overdose, severe abdominal pain, broken bones, dislocated joints, dizziness, loss of balance, sudden change in vision, mental health, or a change in mental status or speech. So if I have people going to the emergency room for here and I'm going there for a sore throat, an emergency room is going to treat you probably last because they look at severity, and they do what they call triaging, and if someone is having these symptoms, you may have to wait for a significant amount of time, which causes frustration, which causes you lack of care. Emergency departments are you pay for what you get, and so the cost of your care in an emergency room is probably going to be significantly higher than if I did a telemed visit or an urgent care visit.
Okay, and I guess that would go along with what the mistakes are. What are the mistakes that people are making when it comes to all of this?
So I think that one of the most common mistakes when selecting a healthcare provider or facility is not visiting it in person or knowing the environment ahead of time, and relying on online reviews, brochures, or referrals can cause you to miss important factors that impact the quality. So I think that, again, it's doing research ahead of time, knowing where you are, where you live, what's in your community and the community resources you have. Utilize your friends, your resources, other people, and find out exactly where you go. Walk in, when you're on your way somewhere, just kind of walk in and see, okay, that's where that is. That's where I go. These are the things I need. So really planning ahead of time so that when you do have an urgent or emergency need, you know exactly where to go, where I'm going to visit, how to get there, and by having my health care needs and everything written down on a piece of paper ahead of time, then you're going to be able to just give that information in a very credible manner.
And if you research pricing and things like that, like you mentioned before, then put all that together, that's a good choice.
Absolutely.
More than
Absolutely.
likely. So if we're looking at the emergency room, is it ever appropriate to go there when you don't have a life-threatening illness or event happening?
I think that if that's the only place, and we've got some rural communities, that's the only place to go. And so I think that it really is going to depend on the individual. And, everybody's emergency is based on their perception, right? And that's why we as clinicians and healthcare providers, can do education for you when you go there and let you know, hey, next time, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, and then come to the emergency department and help to guide an individual.
And when people say someone's calling because they would like to sign up with Liberty HealthShare, are these questions that they can ask when they call in? Like, when should I go? Can they ask those kinds of things?
They can. They can. We can give them guidance on, what would be eligible for sharing. And, we would absolutely let them know about our telehealth visits and, that we have that for that and for mental counseling. We have talked about how your mental health and physical health is so important together. And so, we have telehealth visits with a licensed counselor. So that's important as well. we will never give healthcare advice though on the
Right,
phone,
right.
and I think that that's one of the things that some people will call and ask, and we can never, we'll always encourage, somebody to, but if it would depend on the symptoms,
Okay.
but we definitely will let somebody who wants to learn a little bit more about Liberty HealthShare, we can let them know what's involved in all of that. Absolutely.
And telehealth, something good that came out of COVID, right?
Yes, how about that? Yeah, one good thing.
Yeah, one good thing. That's it. All right. Well, we're going to take our final break this morning, and we've got Abby, our Human Resources Manager for Liberty HealthShare, joining us after the break, and we're going to talk more about the health initiatives of Liberty HealthShare. So much going on here. Stay tuned. You can watch us live on Facebook if you'd like to do that, but we will continue with Health Week on 1480 WHBC.
JT here from my friends at RoofMax. The pros at RoofMax will assess your roof for free. Call 330-500-9505. RoofMax can save 9 out of 10 roofs at a fraction of the cost of replacing it. Mention me, JT, and receive $500 off. Find RoofMax locally at maxyourroof.com. Call 330-500-9505 or maxyourroof.com. RoofMax.
For 30 years, Liberty HealthShare has been empowering individuals and families to walk the path where faith and healthcare unite that suits their needs. A community that provides support and receives support for medical expenses. Affordable costs without sacrificing quality and control for those who believe their personal freedoms don't have to stop when they need healthcare. Wherever you are on your path, Liberty HealthShare may have the right program for you. Learn more today and start your health sharing journey at libertyhealthshare.org.
Hello, it's Craig Sanders from Progressive Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Massillon. Listen to this Progressive Power Buy.
This is actually bigger than a power buy. Save thousands right now during our service loaner sale. Choose from our fleet of former service loaners. We have a huge selection available. It's like buying a new Ram or Jeep, but at a used vehicle price. Our customers use these vehicles as loaners. When they get a few hundred miles on them, we sell them at a big discount. These are like new vehicles, and you get all the new car benefits, but at a drastically reduced price. Progressive has a huge selection of these service loaners to choose from. Ram trucks and Jeeps, all discounted, saving you thousands of dollars. We've had these service loaner sales in the past, and they were very popular. We're expecting them to sell fast once again, so don't miss your chance. Get your new Ram or Jeep for a used car price.
Shop Progressive Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Massillon.
833-853-2976 for details. Stock number D24608, MSRP 58070. Offer ends upon sale of eligible vehicles.
This is Mike Frazier, Senior Pastor at Canton Baptist Temple. I would like to personally invite you to worship with us at 10:15 this Sunday morning in our worship center located at 515 Whipple Avenue in Canton, Ohio. If you cannot be with us in person, please tune in to our broadcast right here on WHBC at 8:30 on Sunday mornings. For more information about our ministries, you can visit us at cantonbaptist.org. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Health Week on 1480 WHBC. Now back to your host, Pam Cook.
All right, we are back for our final segment on this Monday. Liberty HealthShare. LibertyHealthShare.org, by the way, is the website. And we've had a lot of great information that we've been sharing, which has been very important. And now we want to talk about the health initiatives of Liberty HealthShare. And we have the Human Resources Manager, Abby Delagenides.
Yeah.
See how good I am with those Greek names? I know. I'm proud of myself. But welcome. I'm glad we could have a chance to chat this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And so let's talk about these, the health initiatives. Do you offer employees personal health resources? I mean, tell us a little bit about your goals.
Yeah, so we try to do everything we possibly can to make it accessible for our employees to learn about healthy initiatives, have access to things that they might not have access to outside of here. So we do a newsletter that has like little tidbits of information, recipes. We try to do challenges, whether it's walking challenges. We'd like to do some water challenges, just anything that gets people doing small things that could make a big difference. We also partner with the YMCA of Central Stark County. So they offer a lot of resources for our employees, so that's been a very beneficial relationship. But we try to do anything that can maybe get somebody on the right path, and very broad things because everybody's health's a little bit different. So we try to encompass every type of health and wellness that we can possibly do. So
what's been the response to all of that?
It's been good. I mean, our employees are really receptive to it. They give us feedback. I love when they try the recipes, tell me if they liked it or if they didn't. They give us some feedback. They even request things like, I've gotten some requests about sun safety or allergies. They'll say like, hey, do you know anything about that, or can you look into it? And then, we try to encompass that in the newsletter or in our emails that we send out. We just try to, if somebody's interested in it, we'll do it.
Yeah, and that's great. Yeah. I mean, for employees to feel like they have that resource, and that's a really good thing. Mm-hmm. Do you have any goals or, dreams that things that you'd like to accomplish with this?
Well, I would love if everybody could make these small changes in their life and set their own goals, because like I said, it's a little different for everyone. So, not always is it, losing weight or, maintaining diabetes, high blood pressure. Everybody's health is, unique to them. So whether it's, stopping smoking or if it's, just getting up a little bit more in the day, my goal is to give people the resources that they need to do it, and, encouragement. Everybody in our office, everybody, here on the location is very supportive of people, and they encourage them. So that's where it really helps to do the challenges, because my goal is that somebody recognizes that they want to make a change in their life, they make the goal, and then I would love to see everybody accomplish their goals. That would be a huge goal of mine for our staff. So,
And do you see it helping them work better as a team?
Oh, yeah.
Do they try to accomplish sometimes things as a team?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely with the healthy eating, it's almost kind of like a hive mind. When you have your coworkers eating healthy, I've seen other people kind of jumpstart off of that, and especially when you get people talking about things like, a lot of the times when you're ordering food, you do it as a group. So if somebody's got a healthy option, or they're like, oh, that looks kind of good, it kind of is a trickle-down effect that the next person in the cubicle over is like, oh, that does look good. Maybe I'll order that. That's a little bit healthier. So definitely with the YMCA, that was a big thing that people saw, oh, my coworkers are doing it. I'm going to do it too. We even had people come to us to sign up, and they're like, oh, we want to go together. We want to do the classes together. So that was really nice to see that, it's easier to go if you have a buddy. So if you can go after work with your friend, that's probably the best way to do it. So thankfully, they're doing that.
I quit smoking 10 years ago through my workplace, and honest to goodness, it's peer pressure.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
I believe
good.
it. Yeah.
It's good peer pressure. It's a healthy balance, and it's a good way to do it,
Yeah. We have people here that are like that, and I've heard conversations of people saying, don't do it, don't get back on it.
That's right.
They're very encouraging, and when they know somebody has a goal, our staff's really good at motivating, the rest of the staff to keep up with theirs. So.
And they tend to be accountable, more accountable to it, right?
Yeah.
So talk about the monthly newsletter, the goal of the monthly newsletter.
Well, that I try to do kind of like what they call bite-sized pieces of information, just little tips for our employees, because I think the hardest thing is, making time for your health and wellness. So this is just a short one-page newsletter, and then it comes with a recipe. And it encompasses everything, whether it's financial health or it's relationships, mental health. It's just small information that they can read while they're on the clock, very quick, and then they can print it and take it home. But it's just small pieces, but the whole goal is to give them those resources. And I try to link things too, so if it's not something that I can get in a small piece of information, well, here's where you go to find the rest of it. So that's really helpful too. So the whole goal is just to give them that resource, just to maybe even get thinking about it, something accessible to them.
And the relationship with the YMCA, talk about that a little bit. You mentioned it. But.
Yeah, it has been amazing for our staff. It's called the Workplace Wellness Program. So with that relationship, it's a very low-cost way for employees to join the YMCA. Thankfully here, we are very blessed to be able to kind of fund some of the memberships, fund part of the memberships for our employees, because I think a lot of the times it's hard joining a gym just because of the financial aspect of it. So this gives a really affordable option. And then with the Workplace Wellness Program, it benefits everyone on staff regardless if they join. So we get workshops, they send us information, we get discounted rates for like their different programs that they have, swim lessons, childcare. So it was a really great way for our employees to have resources, especially outside of work, that can be for their whole family, for them. It's been a really great relationship.
And would you consider this something that also helps their mental health as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Part of their workplace wellness program with these workshops that they have, part of it is stress management, mental health, anxiety, depression, things like that. You can bring them on site, and they'll do the workshop with one of their representatives. Sometimes it's a YMCA rep, or sometimes it's somebody that they partner with in the community. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, I joined the Y to kind of, help my anxiety, to kind of get some energy out after work, and so that's really helped.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Abby, so much for coming and sitting down with me today. And thank you to everyone here at Liberty Health Share. LibertyHealthShare.org is the website. Check it out. You can rewatch this video on our Facebook page as well. And we're so glad that we had a chance to make Liberty Health Share our first day of Health Week here on WHBC. We will be at the Stark County Health Department tomorrow, so make sure you tune in from 10 until noon, and we'll have it all for you right here on WHBC.